So welcome back to another full week of marathon training. There's frost on the ground and it's 4 weeks to go. So we've had the best of summers and then it has literally fallen off a cliff. The weather has been all over the shop, but today I have a session. We're kickstarting things with a Monday workout. Let me explain what we got and we're going to roll straight into this. Now, just very quickly on last week's video, obviously it was indeed an injury scare and it was indeed a DNS. Gutted not to race Oldbury, and I was really concerned actually, especially towards Thursday last week, that things had taken a turn for the worse. Things weren't getting better, I should say, and basically I think it ended up being just residual race fatigue. It took a long time for me to recover, longer than I ever have off the back of a half marathon. I got that Saturday run done where I did the announcement at the end of last week's vlog and I felt really good. As I said in the time, it was like a 1 out of 10, and then Sunday when I rested it felt perfect. So effectively it's taken me 7 days to come off the back of that half marathon, which is a nightmare, and I knew it was going to be even trickier this week because I've got to rearrange things, which is why I'm working out today and not tomorrow. So we are going to play this safe, we are going to be a bit cautious, but I'll tell you what we've got. We have 3 sets of 5k at marathon effort, or for me today, sub T. I'm going to try and keep them sub T. I think by the last set they will be, heart rate will be higher. So the goal is to keep the first 2 at sub T. After the 5k marathon effort, 1k push, and then 1k float. So what does that mean in English? It basically means that after the 5k marathon effort, you don't go into a recovery, you go into a faster K, which I'm hoping to be around, let's say the marathon efforts are around 5:50 to 6 per mile. Hopefully the push K will be around 5:40, and then the floats will be in the rounds of 6:40 per mile to 7 flat per mile, and it is a continual cycle. So when I've done that, I go into the next set and then the final set, but we'll be careful today. We'll take it a set at a time. What is it with me and animal rescues? We got him. There he goes. The GoPro won't pick it up very well. Well, that is one deer rescued. I'm gonna have to stop coming through Linear Park for my warm-ups because I'm sure it's cursed. Here last week was the Alsatian and back there was a deer. So anyway, let's roll into this. As I said, playing it safe. So I'm gonna take it each set at a time, assess how I feel. Feel perfect again, which is great. So let's lock in and get this final big week banked, starting with today. Alright, so set 1 nearly done. I'm on the float. So the marathon pace section was 5:58 and the K push was 5:30. So really good, floating at 6:35 per mile. So that's brilliant. We have a classic headwind tailwind, except this time we have a tailwind on the net downhill coming this way, which meant those reps were favourable because the K rep push was we had a tailwind. So we're doing the opposite this time. We're starting the next 5k into the headwind, and when we finish it back up here, we'll be doing the K push into the headwind as well. Okay, good stuff. Second set nearly done on the float. So that was 5:54, 5:55, and then into the wind a 5:36 pace. So now we're going to have the same as set one, which is tailwind, headwind for the 5k, tailwind for the k rep, headwind for the float. Happy days. There we go, last one done. 5:53 pace for the marathon effort, 5:34 for the k rep, and 6:39 for the float. Bit too much traffic for my liking today. A few near misses out on the industrial estate. I stayed on the pavements, but it's just so busy. I really need to get to a quieter loop, but it's doing the job at the moment, and that is a great way to start the week. And hamstring's about a 1 out of 10, which is such a relief. I knew it might feel a bit of discomfort, and it's just a bit tight now, but it is, I think, not an injury, which is what I suspected yesterday, which is why I tried it today, and it's paid off. So I'll go and do the usual recovery, and I'll see you tomorrow for the double. So good morning and welcome to Tuesday. Up nice and early today, as I said yesterday in the intro. A very busy week this week, so up out the door just after 6 and getting 80 minutes easy done today. Reflections on yesterday, really happy with how it went. I did this one last year and I just kind of checked back against things. Paces were a lot quicker this year, not a lot quicker but significantly quicker. Heart rate this year was actually 2 BPM higher, but the pace increase kind of outweighed that. It was nice to feel good and controlled yesterday, and those first two 5Ks as I wanted were sub-T average heart rate, with just in that second one creeping over a tiny bit towards the end, but overall very controlled. The third one stayed sub-T for a good chunk of it, but did end up going over it as I got fatigued, and that's the idea of those K pushes afterwards and floats, to raise the heart rate, to keep you working and really not ever let you get that much of a rest. One thing I'm going to keep an eye on this week is the hamstring. Pulled up really well after yesterday, as I said, about a 1 out of 10, and very pleased that it's not like a serious injury, but I will say this morning it's the same as it was at the end of the session, so there's just a bit of something there. So my focus this week after that session obviously is another session Thursday and Saturday, the long run, the biggest long run of the block. That's the priority. So I'll make a call on Thursday as to whether I get another session done or if I just keep it easy until the long run, if I still feel like there's anything in the hamstring. Ultimately, hamstrings don't heal overnight, they take a while. I'm less than 4 weeks out from the race. If I'm still feeling tightness going into next week, and there's a strong chance that at some point throughout the race, regardless of how well I recover in the final 3 weeks, that I'm going to experience some tightness. I've been there before, and it's not nice running on a tight hamstring towards the end of a marathon. So I am going to be cautious, see how I feel on Thursday, and make a decision then. So get today done. That being said, trotting along very nicely this morning, nice low heart rate, decent pace, feeling good. So I'll see you tonight for the double.
So remain silent, starting from now.
Did you hear that promise? He's going to stay silent tonight. So welcome to the easy run this evening. Yeah, he's going to stay silent, so not more for me to say other than
Hooray!
The classic, 45-50 minutes, nice and easy. Hamstring's feeling a bit better tonight, that's good. He's already heard about that. He doesn't need to hear about it anymore. I'll see you Thursday for the next one. And so here we are, welcome to Thursday. We are doing a session. Before we get into it, I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thanks to SaySky for sponsoring this video. Very grateful to have SaySky on board during this Abingdon Marathon training block in the build up to the race. They've had my back on many training series now, and I'm super grateful to be repping their kit once again during this training block. Today I am wearing one of their racing singlets, and of course, you know it, their combat shorts. Got a couple of gels in here, the phone in here, some of their racing socks, and potentially I'm busting out the race shoes. They've got some great new kit drops coming up over the next few months. I think the first one's already happened for their autumn and winter collection. I have got some of their new kit as well. I am going to be racing in their bottle green singlet, which is one I've had for a while, but I will be wearing some of their new combat shorts and racing socks. I will leave a discount code on screen, FOD15, to get you guys 15% off all SaySky kit. I know a lot of you guys rep their kit. I see a lot of it on race day, and it's great to hear you guys using such high quality kit out there. And once again, a huge thanks to SaySky for sponsoring this video. So what have we got on the cards today? 6x2k. So basically, where I've been following double threshold and single threshold work, I'm just prioritizing these like last week and this week. Well, not really last week because that was a rest week, but the week before, in these final 6 weeks, slightly the longer reps. So more so the 2 and 3k reps. So although I had a great marathon session on Monday, I really want to focus in on those slightly longer ones. So we'll get another 12k worth of work done today. When you do Norwegian single method, 2k reps are meant to be slightly quicker obviously than the 3k reps, and I'm just going to go by feel today. And the reason I'm not going to push it today is because it's going to be a big threshold volume week. So I did 21k on Monday, as I said. It'll be 12k today, and on Saturday in 2 days time I've got a long run with my biggest kind of marathon specific work 3 weeks out. So although with Norwegian singles I aim for, and if I'm doing doubles, 30 to 34k worth of work a week, that will be spread over 10 to 12k every other day. I've done 21, I'm doing 12, and on Saturday, well, I'll tell you on Saturday. So I'm not quite going balls to the wall on this one. Goal, just quicker than marathon effort. That's all I want these to be. This is the slightly sharper session of the week. It's not going to be too sharp. You're not going to see crazy paces. I'm just going to turn the watch inside the wrist and just go by feel. So let's see how this one goes. Three done, halfway, feeling good. Nice to run blind, to be honest. Just go with how I feel. It shows how much I didn't push on that second one going back net uphill, how much slower that was. I don't think the heart rate's good though. So there we go, great session, really happy I ran it blind, actually having the watch inside the wrist. It just basically meant that it's a wicked headwind tailwind today, so I had the tailwind going downhill, a little bit like what we had on Monday. Nothing's changed, and then coming back it was getting tougher as the reps went on. Now if I'd had my watch facing me and seen the pace dropping like that, I think I'd have pushed harder, and quite honestly that was not a sub T, I can tell you that now. I haven't even looked at the heart rates, but that was threshold and probably a little bit above. So it would have been a completely different session if I'd have had that watch facing me. Even better news is the hamstring is good, which is brilliant. It's about a 0.5 out of 10. It's like a shadow feeling, you know, when you get over an injury and there's just that remnants of like a, I don't know, something there. So averaging, I'm gonna guess averaging somewhere like 545, 546, 547 per mile, in and around there, average over those 6 reps. And to feel like this is really good steps. And finally, the last good thing, summer is not gone yet. After me moaning about it earlier in the week, looks like we got a nice week of 17, 18 and 19 degrees. Happy days. All right, so it's now the evening. We are back doubling again. Good session this morning, pretty happy with that. Interesting how the paces are so different going back and forth, but then as I said earlier, the wind was picking up in the second half of that workout, so felt good, feel really good. Hamstring feels perfect. Just gonna get another 4 or 5 easy done tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next easy. So good morning and welcome to Friday. That little loosener last night really helped today. Feeling really good. I'm actually ticking along a little bit quicker than I should be. I'm just going by effort. I feel great. I'm going downhill. I reckon 6:49. Heart rate's 135. So yeah, hopefully this won't come back to bite me tomorrow, but honestly, yeah, just cruising today. I was going to say my thought for the week that I usually drop in on a Friday was going to be, I haven't felt flowy since the half marathon because of obviously the hamstring, tight glutes, all of that. Today's the first day I feel like I'm rolling again, and it's a welcome feeling. I've missed it, so it's nice just to be cruising out here, just getting probably 60-70 minutes done today. Well, it won't be any more than 70, that's for sure. And yeah, nothing more to say. I will see you tomorrow for the big one. All right, here we go. It is long run day. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. I'm actually really nervous. I'm excited. I do love these long workouts, but I am nervous. I'll pause the watch up here and let you know what I've got today. Okay, right, let's pause it here. We're going all the way up a hill for the final mile of this workout to start the workout up there. Very quickly, race kit. I know I'm tucked in. It's not the usual look. I've got my water bottle in my belt. Race vest. These are probably going to be my race shorts, combat shorts. These are some of the newer ones. Race socks, race shoes, I think. Not going to go with the Asics. They've not done enough for me to make me want to choose them over these. So this is the last one I'm going to get in these ones. That'll be a couple of decent runs to break them in. I might get one more. The Light Strike Pro takes a while to break in, so I might get another session or two, but ultimately we'll go into Abingdon with 50-60 miles in these things, and that'll be perfect. Today's session, 2 mile warm up, 8k, 7k, 5k, all at marathon effort, all off a K float. So it's going to go 8k at marathon effort, K float. 7k at marathon effort, K float, 5k at marathon effort, K float, 3k, K float, 2k, K float, 1k, K float. The 3, 2, 1 are just quicker. All right, so basically it's 20k worth of work at marathon effort, 6k worth of work quicker, 26k in total. My old coach Will Bryan gave this one to me as we were building up to Newport 2023. I ran my best time there. I love the workout. It's a tough one. I loved it. I did it last year. I'm doing it this year. I love it so much, and I think it's so beneficial. It's a Canova style workout, as a lot of you can probably work out. I give variations of this to my athletes depending on abilities. I just feel it's a really beneficial one to get some good volume in 3 weeks out. This is the peak. This is it. This is the last big one. Actually, that's a lie. There's going to be a couple of decent sessions next week, but this is the last chunky long run. So I'm going to make my way up this hill slowly, get to the top out onto the road. We're going to head out into a neighbouring village for the first rep, do a U-turn, come back down onto the industrial estate and aim to finish at the roundabout at the top where I started. Get the first 8k rep done. Then all I've got to worry about is the 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Or we're not going up there. Oh man, I really wanted that to break up the infinite loops on the industrial estate. I've only got half a mile to go. There's no way I can get out anywhere without hitting any major big hills. So I guess it's going to have to be a couple more loops of the estate. Let's roll into it. What a great start, 6:03 per mile. So I should have said the goals at the start, but I was aware that I was waffling a bit too much. So I'm just on the K float. Last year I ran 6:14 for the opener, and then like, I can't remember the other two, they were all over 6 minute miling, which is fine. I then ripped the 3:21. So the goal today was to keep the efforts a bit more together. I think last year I ran like a 3:09, it was downhill, but 3:09 last K, and as much as that's great, show fitness was in a good place, I don't need to do that today, and I'm just going to be wary because of the week that we've already had. So 6:03 is a really good start, very sub T. That's also the other goal, to try and keep the 8:7 and 5 sub T, or as close to as possible. That was very, I think the average for that would have been around 1:57, 1:58, which is brilliant. I was keeping an eye on it. Much lower today. It is very humid though, so I'm just drinking a lot. And yeah, we'll roll on to the 7. Okay, 5:59 for the 7K. For the most part, the heart rate's at around 161, 162, which is sub T, which is great. However, this top end up here in particular is either up or down. Small, but it's taken its toll. And in that last bit of that 7K, I did notice it peaked at 168, but then came straight back down to 162 when I got coming back down onto the flat. So a little bit of a warning sign. This next 5K will be pretty much, I should think, threshold as we're gently creeping up, and then yeah, we're into the business end. There we go, 5K done, 5:56 per mile. Best 20K worth of marathon volume that I've banked this block in terms of how I feel. So now, 3:21, I've only got to do that College Hill twice more. These are a bonus, let's see what we can do. Yes, there we go, 5:47 per mile for that 3K. So the float is tough now, I'm working, but we've got 3K worth of work to go. 2K and then a 1K. There we go, 2K rep done, 5:39, 5:40, really good K to go, and I hate to break it to you, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do this one average downhill. Like last time, I am so close to that red line, I just need to get this done. there we go, last K, 5:34 was that. Did not have the legs to go any faster. Legs are cooked. But wow, we did it. Felt so good at 20k at marathon effort, so good. And then the whole idea of those last 6k are just to really test you, see what you're made of, simulate picking up in the second half. And we got that extra 6k worth of work banked. So 3 weeks out, we have had the best peak week. So overall, really happy with that. Drank well, 6 gels. I stopped at 2 hours. I need to save one for Tuesday's session because it's the last one I've got, and Tuesday's session is a big one. So I'll have to use a mix of drink mix, which I've got some at home, and a gel. Otherwise, 90 grams of carbs sunk in the first 2 hours. Very happy, all systems go. And it should end up being my biggest week of the block, around 82, 83 miles. So very happy. Appreciate you guys' support on this one. Thank you so much, especially for bearing with me last week when the hamstring wasn't great. It's progressively got better this week, and today nothing at all. So good signs. Let's get the last 3 weeks done and nail this. If you enjoyed this one, guys, I'll leave a video on screen here talking about the marathon majors, alternatives, planning for 2026, all of that good stuff. Because I tell you what, running's getting more popular, things are selling out fast, and we got to be hot on it to book these races. Or if you missed last week's training episode, I'll leave that down here, and I'll see you guys over on one of those.